With the release of the new Archon quests and her banner being right around the corner, I figured the next character we should dive into the lore of should be Nahida. Or should I say Lesser Lord Kusanali, or maybe even Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Nahida is a very complex character and there's a lot of stuff to go over, so let's go ahead and get started. Make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on if you like my content, as it really does help my channel out and it motivates me to keep making videos. But anyways, back to the video. It's very possible that Nahida might have one of the saddest stories in Genshin Impact. Our story starts with Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, a fully grown goddess with white hair, elf ears, and green eyes, as well as her friends, the unnamed goddess of flowers and the Scarlet King. These three ruled over the city of the Moon Maiden. However, all that came to a close when the goddess of flowers perished as a result of an unknown incident, and the city of the Moon Maiden was destroyed by the falling of something known as the First Pillar. Everything came to ruin. The Scarlet King, who is in love with the goddess of flowers, became obsessed with the past. This obsession eventually caused Rukkhadevata to leave and pursue her own path of wisdom. She created a verdant paradise in the forest, Sumeru as we know it. She then created the Varuna contraption, a device said to protect an unknown secret related to the sun and rain. Sumeru City was then built on the Divine Tree, a massive tree in the middle of Sumeru's forest region. The sages of the Sumeru Academia then assisted Rukkhadevata in managing the nation. Rukkhadevata also created the Aranara, plant-like creatures able to control dreams. A wall was then built between Sumeru and the desert to prevent Rukkhadevata's paradise from desertification. While Rukkhadevata was doing all of this, the Scarlet King had his own pursuit of his ideal life. In his pursuit, he accidentally released a cursed, forbidden knowledge into his kingdom. This forbidden knowledge drove people mad, and the disease known as Eleazar came into existence as a result. This is what led to the Withering as well. And eventually, the great civilization of the Scarlet King fell. After learning of the tragedy, Rukkhadevata came to their aid. She instructed them to build temples, which she then used to channel and exhaust her power of life to suppress the forbidden knowledge. Upon doing this, Rukkhadevata, who had the appearance of a fully grown woman, was physically changed into a young girl. Using this much of her power in this way physically changed her. However, this was not enough. In the end, the Scarlet King sacrificed himself to finally stop the spread. After all of this, 500 years ago, the Cataclysm event came upon Teyvat. Rukkhadevata went on her final journey with her followers. She descended into the heart of the land, a cavern of the damned where neither sun, moon, nor fire shine. And she never returned. The people of Sumeru believe their beloved Archon to be dead. Rukkhadevata was remembered by her people as a goddess who protected Sumeru from its inception, dealing with every disaster so that her people could live in peace. The Akasha system, which is powered by her gnosis, is considered to be her legacy. The people of Sumeru greatly idolized Rukkhadevata and the great wisdom that she personified. After she disappeared, the sages of the Sumeru Academia searched for her, and Lesser Lord Kusanali was then discovered, or as we know her, Nahida. It was believed by them she was some sort of replacement for Rukkhadevata. Kusanali bears a striking resemblance to Rukkhadevata: white hair, elf ears, and green eyes. Initially, the people of Sumeru praised her as their new Archon, but eventually they realized Kusanali was not a symbol of great knowledge and wisdom like Rukkhadevata once was. She only had the intelligence of an ordinary child, as her appearance would suggest. She had no great wisdom or strength of a god. The sages then resented her and locked her away in the sanctuary of Surasthana. They then shifted their focus to Rukkhadevata's legacy, and over time, due to the corruption and misinformation of the academia, the people of Sumeru forgot the true history between Rukkhadevata and the Scarlet King. Some believe they were enemies that fought a great battle which created the desert as a result, while devout followers of the Scarlet King believe Rukkhadevata was a traitor who stole the position of Archon. This twisting of the truth by the academia has allowed them to have a tight grip on controlling the people of Sumeru, as they directly control the spread of information through the Akasha. They can manipulate both sides behind the scenes, so Sumeru, as it stands, is corrupt without a strong god. Now this is where Nahida gets really complicated. It is likely that Rukkhadevata never actually died, as Kusanali looks just like her, which points to Rukkhadevata likely exhausting her power to save Sumeru from the Cataclysm event and shrinking into the form of a child as a result, just like she did before to stop the forbidden knowledge. The only difference this time is it's on a bigger scale, as the Cataclysm event is a much bigger tragedy. So it would make sense that she would need to use more of her power than the first time, leaving her in a worse state than before. Hence the memory and wisdom loss. It is known in the Genshin universe that expending all your power can damage the user, so much as to physically changing them as well as losing most of your memories and wits. So it's highly likely that Rukkhadevata and Kusanali are the same person. I don't think the devs would leave these details in the game for no reason. Everything we know points to this being the case. We can see a similar example of this in Sumeru with the Aranara. They sacrificed their own knowledge to save Irminsul, and as a result, they shrunk in size. This is likely the great sadness that is Nahida's story. She's done nothing but greatly care for and protect her people from the very beginning, so much as to sacrificing her own knowledge and power to do so. Not many Archons, if any, would do the same for their people. But even so, because the people of Sumeru don't know the hinted at truth of the story, they resent her and cast her aside and locked her away. Regardless of all of this, Nahida, currently known as Lesser Lord Kusanali, still tries to protect her people despite her power loss and the resentment she gets from them, as she is still their Archon and will treat them the same as she did before all those years ago. And as time goes on, hopefully one day we'll see her regain her power and reclaim her past form as Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. It's kind of ironic, isn't it, that Sumeru, the nation that prides itself on greater knowledge, doesn't realize the Archon that they currently resent is likely to be the same Archon they cherished all those years before. What character should I do next? You guys let me know, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.